in Plane, commercial pilot Brodie Torrance, played by GERARD BUTLER, makes a successful emergency landing after his plane sustains critical damage from a storm. He soon realizes that this island he's landed on is Jolo, a remote area of the Philippines ruled by heavily armed anti-government militias. A local militia leader finds the passengers and takes them hostage, intending to secure large ransoms from their families, with international rescue experts struggling to find their location and running out of time. Brodie is left with no choice but to free a convicted murderer, played by Mike Colter. He was tasked with transporting and team up with him to save the passengers and find a way off the island. Alrighty. So I saw the trailer for this movie last year, and it had GERARD BUTLER, and I do love me some GERARD BUTLER. I love GERARD BUTLER. I love this man. He's such a great actor. And so is Mike Colter. I mean, for me, Mike Colter, everyone knows him as Luke Cage. But outside of, I know he is he has his own TV show like Evil, which is on Paramount Plus. I haven't watched it. I don't know anything about it. There are some few reactors on YouTube that have checked out that show, but I don't know anything about it. So, but anyway, he was in that Bachelorette movie. I forgot the name of it. It's like Girls Night Out or Rough Night. I don't know. I don't know. It was like some Bachelorette party. It was like some Bachelorette movie. But anyway, I do love these guys, so I decided to check it out. I 100% thought that this movie was going to get a lot of mixed reviews, like mixed to negative reviews. And the movie's called Plane, and I mean, like, kind of, I can definitely see that, but yeah, the beginning and the end, definitely, but like, when they, part of the movie also reminded me of a movie that came out very recently, Idris Elba, Beast, kind of got me that vibe, but Plane is more of an action thriller film. Meanwhile, Beast with Idris Elba, that movie was more of a like horror thriller suspense movie, But anyway, yeah. So, by the way, if you hear any noises, I should have said this at the beginning of this video, but if you hear like any loud noises or people like yelling or something, I have because of Hurricane Ian, it took a really long time, but there are a group of guys, fixing my roof of my house. So you might hear some people going up and down the ladder. You might hear some loud banging noises as they replace parts of my roof that were damaged due to the hurricane. So just ignore that. But yeah, there was another actor in this movie that I totally forgot, that I did not know was in this movie, and I was surprised. It was Daniela Pineda. She was in that terrible, awful Netflix Cowboy Bebop show that was canceled after one season. I don't blame her. Like, all the actors from that show, I thought were, they did their job. I do believe Daniela is a really good, actress. I do believe that. It's just that she needs to find something. She needs to be, I would love to see her in a breakout, like lead, um, like a lead film where she's the star of it. Maybe there is, but you guys let me know if there is. But anyway, I was totally surprised when I saw her. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Daniela!" When I was watching this movie. And let me tell you guys, this movie is really fun. This movie was really good. Like, oh my god, like this is very strange. It's very weird because it's January, and usually, January, the beginning of of a new year, the beginning of like every year, there's like some stupid, horrible, like trash films that come out. But so far, like first Megan and now Plane, if this continues, we might be in a very special 2023 might be a special year. I mean, definitely for sure there will be films will be, that will get like mixed reviews and negative reviews, and some might get panned by critics, but so far so good. But yeah. And speaking of Megan, I do believe Megan, if you ask me which movie is better, Plane or Megan, so far to 2023, Megan is still better. I still, that movie has made a lot of money. That dance, it's all because of that fucking dance that went viral all over the internet. People's talking about that dance. But I feel like Megan is a better movie, and it's not just the dance. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. I thought Joel Butler. I thought he did a great job. I thought Mike Coulter did a pretty decent job. I mean, not as great of a job as Joel Butler. Joel Butler is the star of the film. It's mostly his movie. Mike Coulter is just support. It's just a supporting character. He's just there to support Joel Butler. As far as like backstory and characterization and character development, not much. I mean, Joel Butler has a daughter, and she's worried. Joel Butler gets crash landed. He's on this island, and his daughter's trying to contact him, and she's worried about him. The movie opens up, and like characters are like, introducing themselves to each other, and it feels like the movie is kind of like introducing these characters to me. Like, oh yeah, my name is, Captain something something. I have a daughter. My wife passed away. Movies tend to do this. Giving a little bit of exposition for to like to build up the character development, or lay the foundation of it. If you know what I mean. But yeah. I thought the antagonists, the villains of this film, were pretty terrible. I understand who they are and what they do, but like there really is nothing else to the antagonists of this film. There's nothing more to it, and the same thing with. And I feel like the antagonists were lacking. Another flaw that was lacking was Mike Coulter. I mean, despite the only thing Mike Coulter is that he's a prisoner. He is a prisoner. He is a passenger, a prisoner being extradited on charges of homicide. That's it. There's no, like, we don't know anything about his personal background, his parents, his families, his friends, his murders, we don't know anything beyond that, when it comes to Mike Coulter's character in this film. So yeah, that's another thing that was lacking. That's another issue I have with the antagonist, Mike Coulter's character, character development, characterization. A third issue I have with this film was the shaking cams. There's a lot of shaking cams in this film, and it made me feel sick, like literally sick, like like after I watched this movie. I'm not joking with you when I say this. After I finished watching this movie, I jogged straight. I ran straight to the restroom and I puked. I didn't vomit, but I did puke a little bit in the sink, and it's because of the shaking cam. So yeah, I was like watching. I was watching this movie, and I'm like, there's so many shaking cameras. Like the cameraman is giving. If the cameraman is having a seizure, it's like a roller coaster. Yeah, but yeah, it did make me sick to my stomach. And the first action scene in this movie, I'm not gonna. Oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil anything about it. But the first action scene in this movie, it didn't even feel like an action scene. Like it felt like to okay. How can I'm trying to find a good way to describe it without spoiling anything about it. It didn't. Okay, I guess the only thing I could say is that it didn't feel like an action scene. It felt more like two guys, like wrestling over with each other. It felt ugly. I don't know, the choreography of the very first action scene in this film felt very ugly. It felt like they were wrestling and but also trying to make out with each other. It was I don't know. But yeah. I think that is it. Daniela, there's nothing to her character. She's just a flight attendant. She's just a supporting character to, she's just a supporting character. She's just supporting Gerard Butler. That's all she is. That's all she does. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. Mostly, I felt very mostly positive when I walked out of this film. I was thinking to myself, this movie's going to get a lot of mixed and negative reviews. And then, I looked up at Wikipedia and I'm hearing all these reviews, and not all, but, obviously not all of them, but for the most part, it's all positive. And I was surprised by that. 2023 is off to a good and solid start if this continues, but we'll see. But anyway, if you've seen Plane, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you think it's solid? Did you have any issues, problems? I had a couple ones. Like I said, the villain. So overall, my problems, the flaws, the cons are the villains, the antagonists, like the militia, like mercenary groups on this island, who are on the same island that Gerard Butler's plane crashed onto with the other passengers and including Mike Coulter and Daniela. The villains, the very first action scene, fight choreography, I didn't like it. It felt very ugly. So many shaking cams in this film. It made me sick and nauseous. And I felt like they should have, I felt like more characters should have been more developed. Gerard Butler's the only character who has the most character development. She has a daughter and everything, like I said, who's trying to contact him, and they're both of them are trying to contact with each other. But yeah, Gerard Butler, this really is his movie. I know, Mike Coulter is just there as a supporting actor. His character is just there to support him and help him, kill all these mercenaries on this island. But that's it. That's pretty much it. So yeah, let me know what you thought about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking your time to listen to my review. I really appreciate it. It means a lot for you to take your time to listen to my review and, watch and listen to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all of that great stuff, and I will see all of you lovely people really soon.